Behold the wonder of perfumery and mimicry. In this hand I've got my little decant of Tom Ford's Noir de Noir. In this I have my little decant of Club de Nuit Intense Women. So the video today is obviously going to be a comparison between the original from Tom Ford and what's widely considered to be the best clone out there of Noir de Noir. Are there any differences? We'll find out. Okay, so we're going to do a comparison today and come up with a verdict or an opinion on Tom Ford's Noir de Noir and Armaf's Club de Nuit Intense for women. So it's important to remember the women bit because Armaf Club de Nuit Intense for men is the Creed Aventus clone. So I already had my Noir de Noir, and I got about a week ago my little sample of the Armaf, and what I did initially was not start to test them straight away on my skin, but I essentially got a couple of testing strips. I sprayed one spray of each on each of the cards and left them. I sniffed them and compared them, and I'll talk about what I thought in a little while. But a week later, today, I picked up both cards and they are both still detectable on the cards. So I'm sure that the perfume would have evaporated or burnt off a lot quicker on skin, but I was really impressed at how easily detectable each smell was on the card. So look, let's go through each of them, opening to dry down. I've already sort of done my dry down analysis. I will spray once again Noir de Noir on one hand and Club de Nuit Intense for women on the other. This is the Noir de Noir. Club de Nuit. I need to say that because I've already done this opening comparison, that there are slight differences in the opening. Now, one thing you need to remember is that the Armaf is considerably cheaper perfume than the Tom Ford. I will say this right off the top is that nothing about this Armaf smells cheap. The opening to my nose is the main difference between these two. And I'm also not going to say that one is better than the other. They're just different. So what I mainly get from both openings, to my nose, the thing that gets detected the most is rose and saffron in both of them. So where they differ for me is that the Armaf's rose note is slightly jammier and tangier than the Noir de Noir, which I find a bit thicker and more velvety, probably a bit more indolic, and that's the difference. So I don't actually prefer one over the other, but why that's important to note that difference to my nose is that they can, I think like you could almost consider the Club de Nuit version as a flanker maybe of Noir de Noir. However, as you'll find out talking about going into the heart notes and the dry down, they're not different enough to have one as a flanker and one as the original. So my point is, I guess, is that the openings are slightly different to my nose, but I don't prefer one over the other. I think if you're in the mood for that slightly earthier, thicker rose, maybe in slightly colder conditions or an evening where, yeah, I would probably go with the Noir de Noir. But the Armaf, to me, because of that opening, probably might be a little bit more versatile than the Tom Ford. So as we start to move into the mids here, the only main thing I'm detecting is that the Tom Ford, I get like a background vanilla note that joins the rose, and I also detect a little bit of oud. Okay, and I don't so much get any of that with the Club de Nuit. All the notes that these two fragrances have in common, I'm getting in both of them. The Club de Nuit has some slightly different notes added according to Fragrantica's note pyramid, but I'm not really getting much of that. And what you kind of end up detecting is that this Noir de Noir again has probably a bit more earthiness. Noir de Noir also has oak moss listed as a note, where the Club de Nuit does not. And I think you detect that as it progresses through to the dry down. So it really is, with these two fragrances, a matter of taste and occasion for what you want to wear. In terms of quality of smell, the Armaf is easily, to my nose, at the same quality level. It's just those little slight differences that determine whether you might feel like wearing the Armaf or the Noir de Noir. Now, if I'm personally speaking, the first thing that comes to mind for me is if I'm in the mood for this type of scent and daytime, maybe a casual occasion, I'll reach for the Armaf, no problem, because A, it's very, very cheap compared to the Tom Ford, and I enjoy the smell equally as much as I do the Noir de Noir. Now, and I'll say that because I'll say that also saying that this Tom Ford is one of my favourite Tom Fords. It's in my top 5 Tom Ford private blends. So I'm not saying that lightly. I'm saying that I'm really, really impressed with the Armaf. But you need to go into this knowing that there are slight differences. Now, where they, to my nose, are almost identical is in the dry down, a couple of hours later. Performance equal. Yeah, so even right now, I'm having, just on a quick sniff, I'm having a lot of trouble detecting much difference. Maybe the earthiness and the weight of the Noir de Noir is probably more appropriate if you're going to wear something for a close encounter, you're having a date or whatever, and you want people to get into your personal space and smell you. Yeah, maybe the Noir de Noir has probably something else there going for it, but for a regular wear of a rose that is absolutely unisex, disregard the fact that this fragrance is called Women, the Armaf is right up there. So for me, I can't actually split them in terms of what I prefer, because I would wear these equally. But the kicker is that I can easily afford a bottle of the Armaf, a full bottle of the Armaf, whereas I have to, at the moment, stick to getting decants of Tom Ford Noir de Noir. I love the fragrance, but here, just like my video about Muscravageur and the Meharis, there is an absolutely viable alternative to Noir de Noir. As much as I don't want to say that, because I love the Tom Ford so much, the Club de Nuit Intense for Women is absolutely worth checking out. If you've never smelt the Tom Ford, don't spend the money. Go for the Armaf. If you haven't smelt the Tom Ford, it's still worth smelling the Armaf just to make up your own mind. And if you think that there is enough of a difference that you're going to spend that extra on the Tom Ford, go for it. Like, your choice, because you know, it's your taste. This is what I'm smelling. So that's my take on those two fragrances, and I was really impressed with the Armaf. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for those of you who subscribe. I really appreciate when you guys comment on my videos. I really love that interaction, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.